Welcome back to this episode of Nintendo World Report talks about Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Is it an episode? Do we do that very often?
Yeah, this is episode 7. I think everyone who's been watching knows that Spyro is coming to Switch. Can you believe it?
Whoa, I couldn't even believe it when we showed up to an appointment to play Crash Team Racing and they just had a Switch sitting on the table with Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I was like, wait, did we know about that? And no, they just casually like, yeah, here, we got Spyro on Switch. It's right here. You could play it. And from what I could tell, it was a full build of the final game. I don't know if it's a final build, but it was the entire game.
We could play all 3 Spyro games that originally came out on the Sony PlayStation. And you know what? It looked really good. Mm-hmm. We discussed this earlier. I was like, is this 720p? Is this full native resolution of the Switch screen? You didn't. What did you say?
I was curious. I looked real close because it felt like it was 720, but it definitely wasn't 720. It wasn't a native resolution. It was running in handheld. We didn't get to see it docked. It definitely wasn't 720, but it was close. It looked really good. This isn't like some of these Switch ports, like they're maybe half the resolution that other Switch games could do, and it's really obvious. It's not obvious on this one. I think that it's I'm not that knowledgeable on technical specs and like what resolutions they would have gone to. I think you said 600 was.
I was thinking maybe 600p, but again, this is a guess. We're not pixel counting when we're just looking at it for a second. But yeah. The frame rate also looked great. It seemed to be smooth 30 frames per second. I guess maybe a couple of drops.
Yeah, I noticed the times that it dropped the most was like when it was loading. You know, the classic trick of like you're going through a narrow hallway where you can't see anything outside the hallway, so that they don't have to put a loading screen there. When that was happening and it was loading something into the game, the frame rate would stutter a lot there. But when you're actually in the middle of things and things are happening, then the frame rate was pretty solid. There was a frame that got dropped here and there, but it was nothing really bad. And I was pretty impressed with that. I've never played the Reignited Trilogy, like I've never owned it, but I've played it in like a store kiosk on a demo. Mm-hmm. And it's the kind of thing that even though it's a quote unquote remaster, it's a remake really of an older set of games, it still looks really, really good. And I was impressed at how few compromises had to be made to make it run on Switch.
As someone who's also hasn't played too much of the trilogy on PS4, I did play a little bit. Like, I didn't see any noticeable like degrades in quality, so I'm sure they're there, but it looked good. That's what we're telling you. We only played it for under 15 minutes. It looks good. It looks better maybe than the Crash ports, the Crash Trilogy port. Yeah. And I thought that looked pretty decent, but I think the resolution may be better in Spyro. Gameplay-wise, again, we only saw a little bit. I believe I was playing the second Spyro game.
I tried the first, and then I backed out and tried the third.
So we played them all.
Yeah, all 3 of them. I mean, it's Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It's that game's been out like a year now, right?
Yeah, it came out last fall.
Yeah, so it's just as good as you're expecting it to be. You already know how good Reignited Trilogy is. And again, no compromises for Switch. It's exactly as good a game as it is on the other platforms. And it was a surprise to see there. And I had a lot of fun with it. Like I sat down and picked it up to play it, and like no one was really guiding me through the demo. I was just kind of left to my own devices, and I just sat there playing it, had a good time, and that just kept me busy until the appointment was over. I was enjoying it a lot.
So that's Spyro on Switch. While you're watching this, you're looking at some of the B-roll footage that was provided. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to take off-screen footage, but Yeah, I think it's a game I'm excited about. The original PlayStation games, I mean, they are quite fun. I'm excited about playing this portably. So, any last words?
Nothing in particular. Like I said, it's a game that's already out. I think the most interesting thing to note is like how does it run on Switch, and it runs pretty well. It's a very impressive port that I believe is being done by the original studio that made the game.
Yeah, we confirmed that Toys for Bob, who made who did the remake, did Trilogy Reignited. They are working on this. This is their baby. They're doing it in house. So it's Toys for Bob. They make good games. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage. Please like this video, subscribe.
Get that search engine optimization going.
Yes, please do that for us.